Is funny. This is the rest of the book, boys. Chapter 12, AJ to the rescue. I ran toward the ocean and jumped into the waves. I swam as fast as I could. Finally, I found Andrea under the water. She was heavy. I picked her up and dragged her back to the beach. She was lying on the sand with her eyes closed. Are you okay? I asked. Andrea wasn't waking up. She can't breathe, yelled Ryan. She needs mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Call Mr. Sunny, I yelled. He's still out there chasing the shark, Michael said. You're going to have to do it, AJ, said Neil, the new kid. Why me? I asked. You do it. No, you. We went back and forth like that for a while. Andrea was just lying there. Nobody was going to have to do it. So I knelt down next to Andrea and tilted her head back, just like Mr. Sunny showed us. Then I pinched her nostrils shut. Then I leaned over and put my mouth over hers and blew air into it. Ugh, disgusting, I thought as I was going to die. Glub, glub, Andrea said. Then she spit out some water and opened her eyes. Oh, Ryan said, AJ and Andrea were kissing. They must be in love. When are you going to get married? Asked Michael. Arlo, Andrea said, you saved my life. I love you. Ew. I thought you were in love with Mr. Sunny, I said, backing away from her as fast as I could. That creep, Andrea said as she got up. He's way too old. You're the only man for me, Arlo. Oh, beauty till now, and I never knew thee. Andrea was talking that Shakespeare talk and putting her arms all over me. Hey, knock it off, I told her. Oh, Arlo, Arlo, wherefore art thou, Arlo? Will you leave me alone, I said, pushing her away, and quit talking that Shakespeare talk. Good night, sweet prince, Andrea said. Parting is such sweet sorrow that I shall say good night till it be morrow. Andrea grabbed me again and leaned over until her mouth was almost touching mine. She puckered up her lips. Ew, disgusting. Andrea was about to kiss me again. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. I had to think fast. Shark, I yelled. Everybody looked out at the water. In all the excitement over Andrea drowning, we had forgotten about Mr. Sunny. Help, Mr. Sunny yelled. Help. Did Mr. Sunny take acting lessons? Asked Michael. He's drowning, you fobbing toad-spotted maggot pie, said Andrea. Oh, snap, Ryan said. She called you a fobbing toad-spotted maggot pie. Help, help, called Mr. Sunny as his head dipped below the water. Glub, glub. Mr. Sunny's a lifeguard, said Neil, the nude kid. How can he be drowning? Maybe he's not a real lifeguard, I said. Did you ever think of that? Maybe he's a fake lifeguard. Maybe he kidnapped our real lifeguard and is holding him in an underground jail cell on a secret island. Stuff like that happens all the time, you know. This was not a good time to discuss whether Mr. Sunny was a real lifeguard or not. I ran to the water, jumped in, and swam out to Mr. Sunny. He was even heavier than Andrea. Somehow I managed to drag him back to the beach. He's not breathing, Michael said. Give him mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, Arlo, said Ryan. Why do I always have to be the one to do it, I said. He could die, Arlo, Andrea shouted. So I knelt down next to Mr. Sunny, tilted his head back, and pinched his nostrils shut. Then I leaned over and put my mouth over his and blew air into it. Ugh, disgusting, I thought as I was going to die. Glub, glub, Mr. Sunny said. Then he spit out some water and opened his eyes. Thanks, dude. You saved my life. Oh, Ryan said, AJ and Mr. Sunny were kissing. They must be in love. When are you going to get married? Asked Michael. Boys are dumbheads, said Andrea. Chapter 13, and the winner is... Hey, look, somebody shouted. The judge from the sandcastle contest is coming. A guy wearing a tuxedo and one of those tall Abraham Lincoln hats was looking at somebody's sandcastle down the beach. He was taking pictures of it and writing on a clipboard. We all ran over to Mr. Sunny. This is awesome, I told Mr. Sunny. You're sure to win the contest, dude. I'm glad I put this fence up so nobody could damage my sander piece, said Mr. Sunny. At the moment, the most amazing thing in the history of the world happened. Look up in the sky, Andrea shouted. It's a bird, Michael shouted. It's a plane, Neil shouted. No, it's somebody parasailing, I shouted. It's Mr. Granite, Ryan shouted. Sure enough, that crazy Australian long-distance swimmer, sand monster, zombie guy was flying through the air with a parachute on his back. A boat in the water pulled him. He's flying pretty low, Andrea said. I hope he doesn't get hurt. Mr. Granite flew right over our heads. Help! Help! He shouted. I can't control this thing. Mr. Granite was swooping back and forth, up and down. He looked like he might slam into the beach. Watch out! Somebody yelled. Run for your lives! Shouted Neil, the nude kid. Suddenly, Mr. Granite started dive bombing toward the ground. He was right over our heads. We dived to get out of the way. Oh no, yelled Mr. Sunny. He's going to hit. Mr. Sunny never got the chance to finish his sentence because at that moment, Mr. Granite landed right on top of Mr. Sunny's sandcastle. Bam! Mr. Sunny crushed it. I mean, it was totally flattened. Mr. Sunny's amazing sandcastle looked like a big pile of sand again with a pair of feet sticking out of the top. Wow, everybody said, which is Mom upside down. It was a real Kodak moment, and we got to see it live and in person. Mr. Sandpiece is ruined. My sandpiece is ruined, said Mr. Sunny, screaming. Now I can't go to France to go study sand sculpture. My life is over. Mr. Sunny went running down the beach, shouting a bunch of French words that I didn't understand. He seemed pretty upset. I couldn't blame him. I'd be upset too if a shark chased me around and I almost drowned and then some nutty parasailer crushed my total awesome sandcastle, and then stuff like that happens all the time, you know. But we were standing in front of Mr. Sunny's pile of sand when the judge threw the tall Abraham Lincoln hat up in the air, came over to us. Excuse me, he said. I heard there's a really amazing sandcastle around here, but I don't see it. Can you tell me where it is? Chapter 14, the big surprise ending that will completely shock you unless you already guessed it. The judge left and we all helped Mr. Granite crawl out of the pile of sand. He brushed off his pants. Are you okay? We all asked. Yes, I believe I'm okay, Mr. Granite said. I certainly am lucky this sandcastle was here to cushion my fall. Maybe you better go back to Australia, I told him. Mr. Sunny is really mad. He might try to beat you up. I cannot leave, Mr. Granite said. I need to stay here for at least 1 year. Why? Ryan asked. I have a job in America, mate, he replied. What do you do? Asked Andrea. I'm a teacher, Mr. Granite said. Oh, really? Asked Andrea. What grade? I teach 3rd grade, Mr. Granite said. Hey, we're going to be in 3rd grade in September, Michael said. What school will you be teaching at? Asked Neil. It has an odd name, Mr. Granite told me. It's called Elementary School. What? That's our school, I said. You're going to be our teacher. Oh, no, we all shouted. Maybe Mr. Granite will be better a teacher than he is a parasailer. Maybe he'll stop popping up in weird places for no reason. Maybe Mr. Sunny will stop talking to sand and learn how to swim. Maybe he'll build a new sandcastle. Maybe Andrea will stop talking that Shakespeare talk. Maybe she'll fall in love with some other lifeguard and stop annoying me. Maybe the shark will come back to try and eat Andrea's pizza in her stomach. Maybe people will stop drowning so I won't have to give them mouth-to-mouth resuscitation anymore. Maybe the guys will stop teasing me about being in love with Andrea. Maybe I'll make it through the rest of the summer without any other weird things happening. But it won't be easy. The end.